Hello everybody, and welcome to this year's King of Hearts Male Beauty Pageant. I'm Josh Quinn, and I will be one of your co-hosts this evening.
And I'm Amanda St. Clair, and I will also be co-host this evening. But I must say, Josh, I am a little disappointed that you won't be in the competition this year, since you're so funny, talented, and beautiful.
Sorry, Amanda, but I told you, I'd only be in it if it was absolutely necessary.
Well, you're in luck. Since so many people dropped out, we have room for you to perform.
By room for me to perform, you mean you need me to perform?
Yeah!
All right. Well, luckily, I prepared a talent, have my Q&A ready, and tons of costumes backstage for each of the sections, so you got lucky this time.
Cue fake... oh, wait. Okay. Well, let's see who's who tonight. Mr. McGovern, what are you doing here?
Well, I'm in the teacher part tonight, but I'm the only one backstage.
Oh. Well, we didn't tell you.
What? What did you want to tell me?
We cut the teachers portion of the event.
Oh, I put on the suit. I bought some new swimwear. Been going to the gym. I mean, my parents are out there. Hi, Mom. Sorry you came all the way to Berkeley Heights. Sorry.
Maybe next year, McG.
Okay, yeah, I'll just go back and grade some papers. Or rewrite Josh's rotation test.
Mr. McGovern, everyone! All right, now let's meet everyone involved. First, your escorts, Veronica Vitolo, Angie Mariello, Amanda Azalone, Nicole Martingano, Gianna Miggins, Jess Minkoff, Katie Chirichella, Shannon Mondelli, Julia Martin. Now for your judges, Alexis Ennis, Mel Rail, Lauren Boyd, Sienna Coolez, Marcela Martinez, and Paige Benson. And finally, your contestants. Jimmy Patingolo, Jonathan Nazar, Alton Grossman, Tim Donahue, Killian Quinn, Trevor Rittman, Andrew Clark, Josh Quinn, Jimmy Longo, and Matt Ward. All right. Now we'll begin the first part of the competition, formal wear. Okay, first is Andrew Clark, escorted by Katie Chirichella.
My new website on Squarespace.
Next will be Matt Ward, escorted by Gianna Miggins. All right, next is Jimmy Patingolo, escorted by Amanda Azalone. Next is Tim Donahue, escorted by Julie Martin. So, Tim, what would you do with your newfound power as King of Hearts?
You know, I think with new confidence, I finally have the courage to ask out the one and only beautiful, vivacious Amanda St. Clair, Senior President. Amanda, if I win King of Hearts, can I go on a date with you?
Sure, Tim.
Oh, judges, where are you? Okay, if I win King of Hearts, I can go on a date with her. I will pay.
All right. For the next question, describe your ideal date.
You know, as long as I'm with, someone I love and care about, I think, anything's, perfect. You know what I mean?
What? Why?
What?
If you could change one thing about the world, what would you change and why?
Stop bullying. Hunger can wait.
All right, and Tim, what would you say is your best quality?
I think I'm really good at enunciating things when I need to enunciate.
Good. All right, thank you, Tim. Thanks, Julia. All right, and now for Jonathan Nazar, escorted by Nicole Martingano. Now for Killian Quinn, escorted by Shannon Mondelli. All right, and now for Trevor Rittman, escorted by Veronica Vitolo. And now for Jimmy Longo, escorted by Angie Mariello. And now for some Q&A. So Jimmy, what would you do with your newfound power as King of Hearts?
I would like to be called King James, the real King James. Also, to all these lovely judges, I will all take you guys out to a nice little ice cream, play date. So, yeah, that's what I do.
Okay, Jim, describe your ideal date.
Ooh, this is tough. I like December 25th, but, my birthday is April 18th, so I'm going to have to go with April 18th.
What? Why?
Yo, coach, we're on the 1 yard line. Let's run the ball. Why? Beast mode.
If you could change one thing about the world, what would you change and why?
I would probably change childhood hunger. No kid on this planet should be going to bed hungry. So that's one thing I would change.
What would you say is your best quality?
The 3 C's: calm, cool, and collective. Oh, and I forgot the K for kind.
All right, thank you, Jimmy. And now for Josh Quinn, escorted by Jess Mangoff. And now for Alton Grossman, escorted by Katie Chiricello. All right. What would you do with your newfound power as the King of Hearts?
Well, with my newfound power as King of Hearts, I'd like to erect a league of directors consisting of J.J. Abrams, Christopher Nolan, and those guys who did the Lego movie to make every future movie awesome.
Describe your ideal date.
Definitely May 1st.
What and why?
Well, I'd have to choose May 1st because, it's kind of a temperate day. I don't need to, wear anything real heavy. And, it's usually sunny, nice day out. And also, it's the day the Avengers comes out, so Avengers.
If you could change one thing about the world, what would you change and why?
Definitely that there were Star Wars prequels. I mean, the original trilogy was just amazing, and these were just a cash grab, not at all the quality of these first ones.
What would you say is your best quality?
Well, you know, I can't really just choose a quality. I'm going to side on the side of equality. All my qualities are really equal.
Thank you. Okay, the next part of the competition will be swimwear. Let's see what our boys have to offer. First, Tim Donahue, escorted by Jess Minkoff. Next is Killian Quinn, escorted by Veronica Vitolo. Next is Matt Ward, escorted by Shannon Mondelli. All right, next is Andrew Clark, escorted by Gianna Miggins. All right, Andrew. What would you do with your newfound power as King of Hearts?
I'd probably install new hand dryers in the boys' bathrooms. The ones we have now aren't very good. Like, seriously, a moth can beat its wings near my hands and it would probably dry quicker.
Describe your ideal date.
Well, you know, I'm looking for a nice, wholesome girl. I'd probably meet her on that new dating app. What's it called again? Oh yeah, Craigslist. Anyway, I'd take her to a fun first date, like an NBA game, and I'd pay for her ticket, as well as 100 more. I'd sell them in the parking lot. Ladies love a man who can scalp.
What? Why?
Okay, guys, we're gonna start a chain reaction of kindness.
If you could change one thing about the world, what would you change and why?
Every teacher should be able to grade on the basis of, that's a minus.
What would you say is your best quality?
You know, what really sets me apart from others is I'm willing to do almost anything to get ahead. Like one time in a job interview, I told them I was an intermediate level Excel user, when in reality, I'm more of a higher end novice level Excel user. It's a dark and dirty road to the top, my friends, but I'm willing to walk it.
Thanks, Andrew. Okay, next will be Jimmy Patingolo, escorted by Nicole Martingano. Next is Jimmy Longo, escorted by Angie Mariello. Next is Josh Quinn, escorted by Amanda Aslone. All right, Josh, what would you do with your newfound power as the King of Hearts?
Well, as the president and the king, I think I'd use my newfound power to attain more power. I'd become general of the army, admiral in the navy, become prime minister, just get as much power as I can possibly do, and then rule the world.
Sounds good. Describe your ideal date.
Well, my ideal date would preferably be with the ideal girl. So she'd be something like Eastern European who speaks a crazy language like Ukrainian or something. And she'd do a sport that requires a lot of balance and talent like gymnastics or something like that.
What and why?
That's a great question. I think you should always question those in authority, especially when they're trying to gain too much power.
If you could change one thing about the world, what would you change and why?
I think I would get rid of everybody who is not Neil Patrick Harris.
What would you say is your best quality?
Giving answers to really awkward and terrible interview questions that I wrote.
Thanks, Josh. Next will be Jonathan Nazar, escorted by Julia Martin. And now, Alton Grossman, escorted by Katie Chiricella. Next is Trevor Rittman, escorted by Jess Minkoff. Okay, what would you do with your newfound power as King of Hearts?
Well, first of all, I would convince the school to actually let students use the pool on the roof. Because, I mean, what's the point of having it if we're not going to use it? I mean, we could add diving boards, we could have underwater aerobics lessons right here at GL.
I love it. Describe your ideal date.
2 words, Chuck E. Cheese.
What and why?
Well, I mean, it's just so much fun. I mean, like to think that I never really grew up, and I mean, I'm kind of lonely and like spending my time there. Yeah.
If you could change one thing about the world, what would you change and why?
Well, you know how when you go to a restaurant or a diner, they ask you, so you want soup or salad? And usually you'd say, I want soup or I want salad. I want to live in a world where I can say, you know what? I want soup and salad.
Finally, what would you say is your best quality?
Well, I had a lot of trouble with this question. I kept thinking about it, and I'm just such an amazing guy. I really couldn't decide on anything. But, you know, they told me I had to pick one, so I'd say my modesty.
Thank you. The next part of our competition will be casual wear. Okay, now, Jimmy Longo, escorted by Veronica Vitolo. Okay.
Urban, preppy, chinos and a button down.
Next is Andrew Clark, escorted by Amanda Azalone. Next is Killian Quinn, escorted by Julia Martin. And I guess Josh, too. Okay. What would you do with your newfound power as the King of Hearts?
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Describe your ideal date.
Right, so I'm just here so I don't get fined.
What and why?
Okay, so no matter what you ask me, my answer is going to be I am just here so I don't get fined.
If you could change one thing about the world, what would you change and why?
I am just here so I don't get fined.
And finally, what would you say is your best quality?
Yeah, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Okay, thank you. Next is Josh Quinn. Oh, sorry, I mean Tim Donahue, escorted by Katie Churchello. Next is Matt Ward, escorted by Gianna Miggins.
Do you want a chip?
No, thank you. All right. What would you do with your newfound power as King of Hearts?
I would run around the school in a baby diaper and shoot people with heart-shaped arrows and make them fall in love with me.
Describe your ideal date.
Well, the girl has to be beautiful, obviously, and then we'd probably go on a double date with my parents to either Nathan's or IHOP, and then maybe catch a late-night movie and finish up the night with some Twister.
What and why?
Yes, because.
If you could change one thing about the world, what would you change and why?
I actually have a little speech prepared. So, good evening, everyone, and welcome. The one thing I would do is make more jobs. So, stocks closed out the week to the downside, but still managed to have their best week in more than a year. More on that in just a moment. But first, the big story of the day, jobs. The January employment report was strong. Employers hired, wage growth was visible, and more people re-entered the labor market, a sign that many are confident about their job prospects. The economy created 270,000 jobs last month, and more economists. It was more jobs than economists had expected, you know. And the numbers for November and December were even higher. The unemployment rate rose to 5.7%, but you know, we need more jobs.
What would you say is your best quality?
How sexy I am.
Thank you. Next is Alton Grossman, escorted by Angie Moriello. And next is Jimmy Patingolo, escorted by Nicole Martingano. What would you do with your newfound power as the King of Hearts?
I would say be the hero that Gotham deserves.
Describe your ideal date.
Someone who also spends about 16 hours watching Netflix each weekend.
What and why?
25, because it's funnier than 24. SpongeBob reference.
If you could change one thing about the world, what would you change and why?
World peace.
What would you say is your best quality?
Well, actually, I would say it's a great personality and a loving heart.
Thank you. Next is Trevor Rittman, escorted by Jess Minkoff. Next is Jonathan Nazar, escorted by Shannon Mondelli. Okay, what would you do with your newfound power as the King of Hearts?
I would proudly wear my crown and wave to the peasants.
Describe your ideal date.
I would enjoy going to a movie, either action, comedy, or romance.
What and why?
Because you can go to a restaurant and discuss the movie over a meal.
If you could change one thing about the world, what would you change and why?
World hunger for the children.
What would you say is your best quality?
My humor is my best quality.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to take a quick intermission so the judges can tally up their scores, and when we get back, we'll have our talent portion. Then the judges will finalize the scores, and finally we'll crown the King of Hearts for each grade. And now, for the portion of the show that we've all been waiting for. Talents! Okay, first is Jonathan Nazar.
Hello. Today I have a joke for you all. What do you call an excellent farmer? A man outstanding in his field. Thank you.
Next is Jimmy Patingalo. Now for Alton Grossman.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alton Grossman, and today I'm going to be showing my more artistic side. I'm going to be engaging in the, I believe it's ancient Mesopotamian art of coloring, I believe it's pronounced. Because this is King of Hearts, I wanted to do a very manly and powerful creature, so of course I chose the unicorn. So here it is, a rainbow unicorn, and I got my professional grade art utensils right here. They're called crayons. They're made by Crayola. Very hard to obtain, very hard. So I'm going to start by coloring in the background. Got a nice blue for the sky. And, you got to pay really attention to detail. So you got to, like, color it in here. Make sure you leave no white, like I am right now, completely shaded in. Okay, now after you got the sky done, an extremely important thing to do is the sun. No rainbow unicorn can be happy without a sun. So, you gotta make sure that you can tell it's like a ball up here. Nice sun. Next I'm gonna do is actually color in the rainbow unicorn. Now, of course, this is a rainbow unicorn. This isn't just any normal unicorn. So I gotta use all the colors at my disposal. So I'm gonna start down here. It's gonna have a red body, red, cool color. Now next I'm gonna use some like black. Oh no, this is purple. Purple, this is the most important part of a rainbow unicorn. Everyone knows that the hooves are purple. Nice purple here, purple here, purple here. Okay? And finally, I am going to color the rest of the unicorn. And that is how you color a rainbow unicorn. I will be posting this outside for selfies. So everyone, take a selfie. Just gonna take a quick selfie with this, remember the moment forever. Okay, thank you very much.
Next is Tim Donahue.
Oh, hopefully this works. Okay, I'm gonna give it a try. So instead of doing something that's kind of okay for 4 minutes, I decided I'm just gonna do something really awesome for 60 seconds. So Aaron Levine, hit that jam. I said hit that jam. Thank you.
That was awesome. Next is Killian Quinn.
Hello, everyone. Okay, today I will be reading an excerpt from one of my favorite books. I think it's very emotional and powerful, and it's written by, he's an author, his name is Theodore Gazelle. I don't know if a lot of you heard of him. He's a doctor. He went to a very good college. I think you'll like it. I could not. I would not. On a boat. I will not with a goat. I will not eat them in the rain. I will not eat them on a train. Not in the dark, not in a tree. Not in a car, you let me be. I do not like them in a box. I do not like them with a fox. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I will not eat them in a house. I do not like them with a mouse. I do not like them here or there. I do not like them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am.
Next is Trevor Rittman.
Listen, baby, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, baby.
If you need me, call me, no matter where you are, no matter if
Don't worry, baby.
call my name, I'll be there in a hurry. You don't have to worry.
Cause baby, that ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. Remember the day I set you free? I told you you could always count on me, darling. From that day on, I made a vow I'll be there when you want me somewhere, somehow. Cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. Oh no, darling, no wind, no rain, oh, winter's cold, can't stop me, baby. If you ever need help, I'll be there on the double. Just send for me, oh baby. My love is alive down in my heart, although we are miles apart. If you ever need a helping hand, I'll be there on the double just as fast as I can. Don't you know that there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you. Cause if you know that there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me mountain high.
Next is Andrew Clark.
In a world where so few have the power to make change, one man, one very large child, has traveled the world and has studied the fine arts of music in every field. And throughout many years of rigorous training under the world's greatest musicians, Jay-Z, Yo-Yo Ma, NSYNC, and Cher Lloyd, he has mastered the art of sound and is ready to reveal his work to the world. Tonight, he makes his debut at Governor Livingston High School. Get ready for your minds to explode. Then I present to you the one and only Andrew Clark.
Next is Josh Quinn.
All right, so I'm going to apologize in advance for this because every once in a while somebody comes up here and does a talent that isn't funny, and this year that's me. I'm actually doing a spoken word poem called America in 4 Minutes, and it's by a guy named Brandon Wellington, so here goes. Of the people, by the people, for the people. These are words that we put in our nation's creed. But only right here in America do we feed foreign countries while others starve on our streets. Only right here in America can you qualify to die in a war with bombs and guns, but you can't have your first bottle of rum until you turn 21. This is America, home of the brave, the wealthy, the rich, home of the paid. It's also home of the homeless, the hurt, the deceived, home of natural disasters that have left some families in need. Some say that this is the home of hatred and the home of greed, but in Philadelphia there's the city of brotherly love, and America is home of the highly achieved. This place, this nation, it's home of children with a bright future. Sad to say, it's also home of video games that can teach those same kids to be carjackers and shooters, robbers, mobsters, gangsters, or murderers. We're home of the proud, and we're home of a lot of inventions. Sad to say, we're also home of babies that are born with a cocaine addiction. This is home of the red, the white, and the blue, where at times it can seem you're hated by many and you're loved by few. It's home of the green grass, the blue shutters, and the white picket fence that we talk about. But it's also home of people with bad credit who can't afford the American dream house. In our America, a vast majority of us go into debt because we go to work, we get our check, and we spend what's left. Because in the American school system, most aren't taught how to properly invest. And because of it, the national debt and the student loan crises are bubbling. Meanwhile, we can't find common lines of agreement between Democrats and Republicans. But even if they did agree, I wouldn't jump to give a round of applause because here in our America, we tend to put bandages over the problems without really fixing the cause. But this is America, a place where outsiders find it difficult to become a resident. This is a place where our ball players can potentially earn more than our president. It's home of top models, TV shows, and actors, the place where cable is flooded with violins, rock bands, and rappers, a place where we're created equal, but we use racial slurs for practice. This is the home of where almost everything is done backwards. This is where 36.3% of our kids are born bastards, but I tell you to forget that number because every year it grows faster. So welcome to America, where you can be free. You're free to have religion, or you can be religion-free. You can watch God on television, or take that off and put on a DVD. The ins, the outs, the goods, the bad, it's all America, and I'm proud of it, even though in our past we've started barbaric, belligerent battles where nothing good can come out of it. But you gotta take pride. You gotta take pride in being an American. Many people dream of being in this great nation because they have never been. They've never been in a state that's part of a fortunate country. Here we can drink when we're thirsty and there's an excess of food when we're hungry. We can do what we so choose, but so many abuse their privileges, and we can become whatever we want, but many make excuses for the conditions we're living in. Well, I say it's time out for excuses and time in for execution. There's no more playing the middle. Either you're educated or you're relegated. Either you're gonna make something happen or you simply will not. Either you stare at the ladder of success or you get the courage and climb to the top. Right here in America, you can do it because you have that opportunity. But it's going to take a collection of all of us to change what's in our American communities. What will you do?
Next is Matt Ward.
Matt Ward, guys. Nah, it's Matt Ward.
Okay, and finally for Jimmy Longo featuring Josh Quinn.
You guys can play music. Do you ever feel like a plastic bag?
I do.
Drifting through the wind, wanting to start again.
Just to start again.
Do you ever feel so paper thin, like a house of cards, one blow from caving in?
Do you ever feel already buried deep? 6 feet under screams, but no one seems to hear a thing. Do you know that there's
still a chance for you? There's
a spark in you.
You just gotta ignite
the
light and let it shine just on the night like the 4th of July. 'Cause baby, you're a firework.
Come on, from what you're worth. Make them go, as you shoot across the sky. Baby, you're a firework.
Show
your colors burst. Make them go, I'm gonna leave them going, Boom. You don't have to feel like a waste of space. You're original, cannot be replaced. If you only knew what the future holds. After a hurricane comes a rainbow. Be a reason why all the doors are closed, so you could open one that leads you to the perfect flow. Like a lightning bolt, here's how it go. It's time to know. You just gotta ignite the light and let it shine just on the night like the 4th of July. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you're worth. Make 'em go, You're gonna shoot across the sky, Firework. Come on, shoot your colors burst. Make 'em go, You're gonna leave 'em going, Boom, boom, boom. Even brighter than the moon, moon, moon. It's always been inside of you. Now it's time to let it through. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you're worth. Make 'em go, as you shoot across the sky. You're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you're worth. Make 'em go, Gonna leave 'em going, Boom, boom, boom. Even brighter than the moon, moon, moon. Boom, boom, boom. Even brighter than the moon, moon, moon.
Okay, I'm going to call out all of the contenders. So Jimmy Patingolo, Jonathan Nazar, Alton Grossman, Tim Donahue, Killian Quinn, Trevor Rittman, Andrew Clark, Josh Quinn, Jimmy Longo, and Matt Ward. And your underclassman, King of Hearts, is Tim Donahue. upperclassman King of Hearts is Matt Ward. Okay, thank you everyone for coming tonight, and thank you for your contribution to the American Heart Association. Goodbye.